Welcome back to another edition of A Glass from the Past. Today I'm drinking something a little bit different. This comes to us from the Kulmbacher Brewery in Germany. This is called Reichelbrau, and it is, as you can see, it's an Eisbock. And I'm going to spend just a second here talking to you about what exactly an Eisbock is. And by the way, they say that Kulmbacher is the birthplace of the Eisbock style. So Eisbock is essentially a beer that's brewed to a higher gravity or higher alcohol content, and they partially freeze it to the point where the water content in the beer creates ice crystals. Those ice crystals can be sieved out of the beer, and what remains is much higher gravity, richer, thicker, maltier, and of course more alcoholic. This process can be repeated multiple times and more water content can be removed from that beer until you get a very rich and viscous and alcoholic product. As far as this one goes, they don't say what the alcohol content in the beer is. However, down here it does, you can see the 24%. That's actually 24% original wort. And if I can take that to us, if I can assume that that is the gravity on the Plato scale, then that would probably work out to somewhere between 9 and 10% alcohol. So no lightweight beer here. You can see that the beers, it's much darker than I was anticipating, and it's probably gotten darker over the years, but I guarantee you that this is crystal clear, even though it doesn't appear to be, or it does appear to be opaque. It actually is see-through. It just happens to be dark. Remember, this was probably brewed as a Doppelbock first, and then it went through the Eisbock process. So the aroma is rich toffee, light treacle, and there are some raisins and dates in there as well. And by the way, you can smell just a tad bit of the alcohol. The palate is, again, rich toffee, brown sugar, light with a light nuttiness. It's mostly malty sweet, but it does dry towards the finish, thankfully, because it could very easily fall out of balance with all that sweetness. The aftertaste, of course, is lengthy with lingering toffee and some throat warming. Again, that alcohol is much appreciated on the back of the palate. So overall, I'm surprised that oxidation didn't have a greater negative effect on this beer. It was pretty much kept at bay, but I don't see this beer moving in a positive direction. The next time, I would suggest that the next time you break out the cigars, you might also want to break this out and share it with your buddies as you're puffing on the stogies. So remember that every beer is an education. Cheers.